expect na lang namin ng mga manonood na talagang bibigyan namin ng magandang laban yung Cignal kasi kilala namin yung Cignal na hindi magpapatalo. So kami din, hindi rin kami magpapatalo ngayon.
You guys are expected to see a tough game, a very gritty game. It's going to be very scrappy on both sides. It's just whoever wants it more. And I just think that we're prepared for today and we want to win.
All right, and we're here at the United Center in Pasig this beautiful day for volleyball. It's a Sunday and the start of festivities in the semifinals of the 2025 Spikers Turf Open Conference on Filipinas Live and One Sports Plus. We're glad you're on hand to join us for the first day where we call it like a brand new day for these four teams because we are starting from scratch. We saw earlier our first game between Crisscross and the Savoj Spin Doctors where Crisscross took the Spin Doctors in straight sets, and we are getting you ready for this game at hand. And we heard from the protagonists, VNS's youngest captain here on the field, 20-year-old CJ Segi, and of course, this guy has its distinction too, rather the tallest player on the field at 6'5", and we are going to be seeing them take center stage today. Good evening, everybody. My name is Chicky Ropuno with Neil Flores, and we are also going to be joined by Denise Valdez-Ancho later on, but we are excited because, like we said, the four top teams are going to be seeing each other on a single round robin. So back to square one tayo, Neil.
That's correct. The win-loss cards are now reset for our semifinalists, and the margin of error just got smaller. So every win is important for our semifinals. Crisscross is already on the board with their first win after that straight set win against the Spin Doctors. And as for Cignal HD, they do want to get their first win as well. I think that the magic number will be 2, but it will depend on the results of the other matches as well.
All right, if those of you are thinking, ang bilis naman matapos nitong tournament na to, huwag kayo magkalala. Each team has at least 4 more games ahead of them because it is a best of 3 pagdating natin for the fight for the bronze and the gold. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's talk about this seemingly David and Goliath matchup. Would you agree with me?
I do agree. I mean, just by looking at the record of VNS, they were 4th in the preliminary round, that double round robin preliminary round, and they went through a lot of adversity. And even just by looking at the numbers, you already know kung saan sila nag-struggle in terms of skill sets. They were last in the blocking department, number 5 in spiking and serving as well. But they did really well in the digging department. They are the number 1 digging team in the Spikers Turf, and that will be so important because we know that Cignal HD is a heavy-hitting team.
Absolutely. Tamang-tama yan. That's going to make for an exciting matchup today. And also, we heard, as we take a look at, of course, Malupnan is one of the younger players. Generally, it's the young against the veterans. It's the underdogs against the 8-time champions. So that is what we're seeing today. But we mentioned, or we heard from CJ Segi earlier, and we talk about his youth. And really, this is a guy is a prodigy. I mean, the way he's leading his team at a very young age.
He has been the most consistent player on the floor for the VNS-Laticrete Griffins. He is in the top 10 of spiking, digging, and receiving. And he was really the main scorer. He was also the number 2 scorer after the preliminary round, racking up 165 points against the big names here in the Spikers Turf. So again, the future is so bright for CJ Segi.
Yeah, you're talking about the big names, many of them he is going to be facing today. And you can guarantee that Cignal will not take anybody lightly. Definitely not CJ Segi. But let's talk about how Cignal got here a little unexpected because they did not have a flawless record in the first round.
Well, they only lost 2 games, and that was against their rivals in the Crisscross King Crunchers. But in all of their other games, they were very dominant. And they're the number 1 serving team. They're number 2 in spiking and in blocking. So I guess ang pinakababantayan for Cignal would be their floor defense. They're number 6 in digging. But you also have to give credit to the blocking. Kaya number 6 sila sa digging kasi mas konti yung dumadating sa likod.
Tama
because
naman.
their first line of defense has been working so well.
Absolutely. And that is in part because of the performance of this guy, Steven Rutter, who stands tallest among all of the men on the field. So yan ang kanyang superlative at 6'5". Definitely he's a force at the net.
Yes, Steven Steven Rotter actually signed with Cignal last year but only saw playing time this conference because of that knee injury. He is the #1 attacker of the league and he's also the #1 server. So again, offense is the name of the game for Steven Rotter. He's looking to bring his passion and that firepower today. And again, for Cignal HD, they do want to get back into that finals picture because they are the winningest team in the Spikers. So they're trying to win 3 straight titles.
Absolutely. And of course, we've seen Steven Rotter in action. He is very exciting, so much fun to watch. And as he mentioned himself, he is going to bring in a lot of energy today. So we are excited to see that. And we want to see what you all are excited about. Let's get you in on the action. Let's call in Denise Valdez-Sancho to tell you how you can join in on the fun.
Thanks, Cheeky. Thanks, Neil. We love hearing from all our fans. If you're on the Filipinas Live app, we have a poll running below your stream asking which team will pick up more blocks this conference. Again, that is which team will pick up more blocks this conference. You can also join the conversation online by using the hashtag SpikersSurf2025. You can also visit our Facebook, X, and Instagram pages to stay up to date with the league. But for now, let's turn it over back to our venue announcer for the start list.
Here at Inares Sports Arena, Pasig City, is the semifinals round of your Spikers Surf Season 8 Open Conference, where power meets passion. This is match number 32, semifinals between VNS-Laticrete Griffins and their challengers, the Cignal HD Spikers. Introducing our officials for this match. First referee, Ms. Joy De Imus, Asian International Referee. Second referee, Mr. Patrick Castillo, National Referee. Let us meet the starters. First, for VNS-Laticrete Griffins. Let's start with their team captain at number 8, CJ Segi. Wearing jersey number 3, Jan Mangulabnan. At number 6, Casey Kulabat. Jersey number 7, JV Sumagaysay. At 14, Rash Nursidik. Jersey number 24, Brian Haleko. Starting libero number 21, JM Espanso. With their head coach, Mr. Ralph Ocampo. And now, the starting lineup for Cignal HD Spikers. Calling on their team captain at number 8, JP Bugawan. Wearing jersey number 3, Joshua Retamar. At number 4, Steven Rotter. Jersey number 10, Wendell Miguel. At 20, Lloyd Josaphat. Jersey number 21, Louis Ramirez. Starting libero number 7, Vince Lorenzo. Head coach is Mr. Dexter Clamore. This is VNS-Laticrete Griffins versus Cignal HD Spikers. Semifinals match.
And you're looking at the starting lineup from the VNS-Laticrete Griffins. Definitely the younger and less experienced compared to, of course, their opponents, the Cignal HD Spikers. As we mentioned, 8-time champions. You're talking about their 3rd consecutive championship that they're looking to win this time around deal.
These are the usual suspects for Cignal HD. And here's the thing, the teams like Cignal HD and Crisscross, sila yung mga nagtatransform pagdating ng semifinals. We see a different version in the preliminary round. And like a while ago, Crisscross won in straight sets fashion. Everybody was expecting for it to be a long game because in the double round robin format, Savage really pushed them to the limit. So now, nakikita natin yung different preparations papasok ng semifinals. That is a hot start.
Yep, if
for
that's
the
any indication.
Red shirts. Louis Ramirez will get the starting nod for Coach Dexter Clamor.
And he gets the scoring going here for Cignal. We talked about that first game. Like we mentioned at the top of the coverage, it is a single round robin for the semifinals. So they will each meet the rest of the teams in the rest of the three teams. There are 4 teams advancing in the semifinals. So Alpha and Navy took an early leave. And Cignal, meantime, as you can see, the intensity and their desire to just claim their crown once more. A 3-man block going up, and that one is outside. No touch. That could be another point for Cignal. VNS still waiting to get on the scoreboard.
Pangalabnan has to find a way to confuse the blockers of the HD Spikers. We know that Cignal is a very organized blocking team. That has been the discipline para kay Coach Dexter Clamor. That's why simula pa lang, we're seeing a lot of 3-man blocks set up. Now, there will be a challenge for a ball in, ball out of that service.
I mean, I want to take a speed. I want to, kung may speedometer, di ba? Yun din ang gusto malaman. Ang bibilis din ng dating nitong mga serves ng Cignal. I think that's intentional. They really want to load up on their serves and get the points that way because they have been successful in that in the tournament so far.
Speed will be the best friend of Cignal in today's team. That is inside, just clip the end line.
So the top serving team in the league, showing us why. And they are not going to take it easy against VNS. And we're talking a literal David and Goliath setup here because Cignal also dominates even in terms of the height advantage. Oh, that one is out. So there's the risk that you take with these big serves, jump serves.
It's also safe to say that Cignal is already used to the semi-final setup, maybe the traditional 1-4-2-3 or the round robin. They've been in the finals so many times already.
And it's interesting. I'm sure naririnig nyo rin yan sa inyong mga tahanan. No? They haven't stopped cheering here on the Cignal side. So they don't take any team lightly. And I think you're right. This is how they're going to be playing the rest of the games from here on out. 5-1. 4-point lead early in this first set for Cignal. And 3-man block still there. See another chance here for VNS. They have to get really creative. Find ways to counter the blocking of Cignal. Ooh! And talk about crafty. You never know what you're going to get from Steven Rudder.
PJ Segi has to change things up. He's been checked by the wall of the HD Spikers. Pwede niya gawin kung ano yung ginawa ni Steven Rudder. Just going to that rolling shot.
Oh! So it's 2 points for VNS. They have not earned any of their points yet.
It's 2 unforced errors from the HD Spikers.
And really a tall order for this setter. None. He has to figure out, like you said, Neil, that 3-man wall is not going to go away. Manuel Miguel taking it easy. Good rebound. One more time for Miguel. Nice cross. Just so measured.
Yeah. He has been the most impressive HD Spiker in the past few series. I remember that game against Chris Cross. He was really on fire. Hindi na niya nakuha yung anticipated numbers from the other members of the HD Spikers. But he's just really focused. I talked to him a while ago. Sabi niya, hindi nga siya lumalabas because he really wants to set that example that we're in the semifinals. We can't afford to make any mistake because another title is on the line.
Leading by example. Meantime, that was a great kill there by CJ Segi coming from the right pin. Rodder, rebound, and we know we can expect this kind of scrappy defense, just every effort to keep the ball in play from VNS because they're #1 in digs, but they JP Bugaon, the stabilizer. That's a perfect title for JP, who, of course, is a very familiar face to all of you Spikers Turf fans.
He is a two-time Spikers Turf best middle blocker, and he was able to put up 22 kill blocks in the preliminary round. He's the #2 blocker of the league right now, and he has been consistently part of the success talaga of the HD Spikers in the past few conferences.
And what's exciting is also we're seeing Bugaon 2.0. We're seeing the younger Bugaon, Martin Bugaon, also part of Cignal. Meantime, the 2025 FIVB Men's World Championship is coming. Tickets are now available. Head on over to https www.philippines-wc2025.com/about/tickets and get yours now. All right, we're excited about that. Meantime, still a 5-point advantage for Cignal. That one bounces out, and that's going to be another point for the HD Spikers, just cruising through this first set so far.
That was an aggressive play from Oare Tamar. He saw the opportunity to go for a swing.
And this is where you see really the professionalism and really something that you admire from Cignal. They will not relax. They will not lose the intensity just because they are facing a smaller team.
That's another kill block for the HD Spikers. Ayan yung number na babantayan ni Coach Dexter. He's very particular pagdating sa defense pattern ng HD Spikers because he already knows na ang lakas nila offensively on the service line, on the front line, even in the back row. Ang dami nilang options for that pipe.
Yeah, except I think that one he was caught stepping on the line, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be another violation. So you look at the score, and there's been a lot of errors, a lot of violations. And VNS needing to play a very clean game and only hope for more errors coming from Cignal. Oh, it's a shank. Again, that wall is just so pesky, but this time the coverage not enough for Cignal, and VNS will score. Kulabat there with his first point.
Currently, VNS-Laticrete already has 2 attack points. They have to get more numbers in that department and hopefully get good touches on the attacks of Cignal. It's very difficult if ganun kataas yung talon ni Louis Ramirez. Cignal knows their advantage. They are currently targeting the shortest blocker on the floor, and that's Jan Mangulabnan. So for Mangulabnan, he just has to get his timing right.
Clearly blocking not their strongest suit. And it is the exact opposite for Cignal, they are just so on.
The blocks just keep on coming for the red shirts. Look at that tight double block. Nowhere to go for CJ Segi.
The blockers of Cignal just really locked in, and they mean business. Walang gustong padaanin. Oh, and it takes plays like that, just you know, being a little more creative and unpredictable. That's what VNS really needs to remember.
He's been trying to challenge the blockers of Cignal HD, but he saw that open space behind the Cignal wall. Needs more of that. Again, you have to change things up from time to time. Go for that tip, go for that swipe, that hit out.
Is that called inside? It is. We also haven't seen too many opportunities for VNS to run their plays. We see Sumagaysay is already on the court, so you know, activating your middles and exploiting your options is the name of the game if you're going to go up against a blocking team as stellar as Cignal. Segi going down the line. This time it's called outside. So nahirapan din siyang iwasan yung blockers.
There will be a challenge from VNS-Laticrete.
Which one? There you go. So it is a black touch challenge. They feel that there was contact there. You know, if you think about the way that VNS got here, they really went through the back door, no? It was also because of the results of the other games that Alpha played.
They also won against the Insurance Protectors in 4 sets, if I'm not mistaken, and that officially punched their ticket to the semifinals.
So they got 3 wins all told in the first round.
Nope,
No,
there
no,
was
that's
no
clean.
check on Grotter, so that will be unsuccessful for VNS-Laticrete.
Conference. That's how head coach Rolf Ocampo as Griffins talked about his men. Looking back the start of the conference, from only being complete 2 days before their first match to settling in as a whole new and young team, they've come this far. Facing the defending champions today, alam nilang kaya silang bigyan ng problema ng Cignal. But their answer to this is that they wish to execute consistency. Now, for our viewers, did you know that in the matchup of VNS and Cignal in the preliminaries, Cignal snatched both wins in round 1 and 2 in 3 sets. But being the youthful and eager team that they are, the Griffins are looking to rewrite their story today. Back to set 1.
Thanks for that, Denise. You know that last game that they played against Cignal, talking about VNS, they took Cignal to 26-24 before finally giving up that match. So, pinahirapan din nila ang Cignal in that third set. And this is something that we want to see. But what we are seeing now, you're right, Neil, or you called it right away. It's a different Cignal team that is on the floor now. It's a different game face they put on for the semifinals.
For VNS-Laticrete also, they have so much to gain if they get big wins here in the semifinals. And hindi biro to compete with the powerhouse teams like Savoj, Cignal, and Criss Cross.
We also talked about some of the challenges of VNS. They had some of the key players held back by injuries and other commitments, but now that Sumagaysay is there, it's also a matter of just being able to gel together.
Lifting violation will be called on Haleko.
Haleko is that other player that is already in with the VNS Griffins. He was missing in the first round, so this is another addition that should help VNS's campaign. Oh, you try everything to avoid the blockers of Cignal, so you end up just hitting the ball out, or it's tough.
Yeah, Cignal HD has been receiving a lot of freebies from VNS-Laticrete. They're now up by 11. Timeout.
Sige lang, relax lang. Receive, number 1 receive. Pag yung receive hindi ganun kaganda, kahit high ball lang. Tapos discarded, cover. Cover. Challenge ko yung block nila, malakas sila mag-block eh. Pag receive, focus mo tayo receive. Pag moment na atake kayo, focus kayo yung umatake. Sa isa lang, per skill. O pag nasa kanila yung bola, focus kayo mag-block. Sa lagot, focus mo depensa.
Patience lang.
Go tayo.
Go, dikit lang natin.
Kailangan natin nabasa yung kalaban eh.
There are multiple skill categories in volleyball. So, tama naman yung sinabi ni Coach Ralph. They have to take it one skill at a time. If you're in that moment of passing, you try your best to deliver a perfect pass to Jan Mangulabnan. Para kahit papano, he can actually run a combination play. I know that we mentioned na simplicity is key, but there are also situations, kailangan mo rin dagdagan ng flair yung combination plays mo, lalo na ang lakas ng blocking ng Cignal HD. But before they get to attack that wall, they have to pass first.
You're right, and you talked about their numbers in terms of the digging category. This is something that we've seen them do well, but that is also because the blocking is barely there, like you mentioned. So a lot of these things to keep in mind. And things is going for Cignal, pati ba naman yung net? Tumutulong na sa Cignal HD.
Mga lucky break sa Cignal HD din na pupunta.
If you listen to the coaching staff of VNS, I mean, I think the layman's translation there is wag kayong masindak. Which is easier said than done, really, if you're playing against the reigning champs. 22-8. This is a blowout in this first set.
That's the third kill block for the HD Spikers. They've also scored 4 points off the service line.
Neko there, hitting off the block, and that's a point. Now it's just a matter of trying as best as they can to run the plays that they practiced in training.
That's the way to go for Haleko. Hitting it at a higher contact point. The trajectory was also higher. Hindi mo talaga pwedeng ibaon kasi pag binaon mo, ang bilis ng ibabalik ng Cignal yung bola.
That was a chesty, but it's still good. Another chance here for VNS to set up. Where will Mangulabdan go? Look at that defense. Another one, and that one hits out. Sumagaysay got lucky there. It was a one-on-one, and first point for JV Sumagaysay.
We're seeing better distribution for VNS-Laticrete a while ago. Most of the balls were set to CJ Segi. But you also have the veteran in JV Sumagaysay that can go for those quick attacks and slide attacks. So kailangan alam ni Jan Mangulabnan kung kailan siya pupunta sa gitna, kung kailan siya pupunta sa wings. It's a double substitution.
Double sub here. We've got Silang in now as the playmaker. Ronquillo also coming in. And Mandal coming in as well. So 3 new players on the court. With Cignal 2 points away from taking this first set. Big advantage here for Cignal that VNS needs to pray for more of those. Silang coming off the bench and delivering a service error. Malamig pa.
It's the 4th service error of the HD Spikers.
Oh, there's a rotation error called against Cignal after all of those substitutions. I guess they got confused.
or mabilis nag-switch si Zhao tsaka si Silang.
You have to wait for the contact point of the server bago sila humarap.
Umandal going cross. Definitely inside, setting up Cignal for the first of many set points.
Late ko na nga na-realize na may Jao umandal pa pala yung Cignal HD. I'm used to seeing him in the starting unit, but again, it was Louis Ramirez who started out for Coach Dexter Clamor.
Again, a display of the strength of their bench, the depth of their bench. That one's outside. 2 service errors in a row, and I remember when they played against Crisscross the first time, this is really what got them, this service errors, which is not an issue, a non-issue for this particular set anyway, but that's something that they really need to pay attention to. And Ramirez, as expected, delivering the goods and getting Cignal its first set win. It was an easy time for the HD Spikers. We'll break it down after these.
Kaya nilang makapag-convert. So that might just be the key for a turnaround here in set number 2. And as we're seeing Cignal, I'm sure they will be sticking to their net defense and serving.
Let's see if we see any more of the Cignal HD coming off the bench. This might be a good time to see the others in action, get them ready for the games to come. Meantime, UAAP Season 87 Volleyball is live and exclusive here on Cignal. Watch it all live on the UAAP Varsity Channel, One Sports, and Pilipinas Live, because legends start here. And usually they continue on here to the Spikers turf, which is really what makes this league so exciting. We're seeing the stars, many of the stars of the UAAP making their way to the pros. And we're getting ready for set 2. This is a relatively short and quick conference, this tournament, with only 6 teams participating. Also quite tiring for all of the teams because they play, each team plays every single game day. We like seeing that.
Yeah, that will be the second point of Halecon. Even the distribution of the points, lamang yung Cignal ng set number 1. 5 points for Ramirez, 3 points for Retamar, Josafat, and Bugawan. And as for VNS, Segi had 3 points, and Kulabat and Sumagaysay had a single point.
Reverse. Ooh. And Kulabat tried but couldn't keep Ramirez from scoring off of his hands. That's a nice looking set by Ora Tamar.
Reverse set definitely tricked JV Sumagaysay. He couldn't catch up the left pin.
That's a good first ball. Oh, almost, but untouched, it seems. Was there a check ball?
No check ball called by the first referee.
Yun yung mga sayang because it was a tough serve, but a perfect pass nonetheless. But they couldn't convert. Talking about VNS. Oh, into the net. VNS now with 2 points, and this is the kind of thing they need to take advantage of. Here comes Retamar, a quick Bugawan off the hands, and we know how quick JP Bugawan is with those quick sets.
Out of reach for the defenders of VNS-Laticrete. Hindi pa natin masyado nakita na nabibigyan si Rash Nursidik. At some point, Mga Labnan really has to give him his chances as well.
Yeah, Nursidik did quite well in the last game out. And that one looks like a point for VNS. Nursidik was one of the 2 players who scored in double digits against Savoj, a game that they played 3 days ago. They lost in 3 sets, but you're right, Nursidik has to be able to contribute here.
Sharp cross court works for Wendell Miguel.
And Wendell Miguel had 9 points against VNS the last time out. So these teams have already met each other twice in the double round robin in the first round. And you know, there's one thing to be said about knowing what you need to do and learning from your past encounters. But if we're talking talent, it's really hard to ignore the fact that Cignal is just really loaded with a lot of talented players. Oh, but look at that.
That's a taste of their own
Yeah.
medicine. Because Rash Nursidik getting a huge rejection against Steven Rotter.
So we asked him to get into the game, contribute, and he does that via a kill block. Nepito na naman, another rotation error.
It's the second rotation error for Cignal HD.
So we got the sharp eyes coming from our down ref, Patrick Alan Castillo. Ooh, that's Rotter. We talked about Rotter at the beginning of our coverage, and he hasn't got too many touches yet. But when he is given the set, he does not waste it.
Practically an open block for Steven Rotter, and that's his favorite point.
And you know, we talk about him being the tallest player on the floor, and with his vertical, he's just so hard to stop. Meantime, the 3-man block again working for Cignal.
Block party continues here in set number 2.
But VNS holding their own here in the second set. It's now 6 apiece. For those of you just joining the coverage, first set went to Cignal 25-13. A blowout for the HD Spikers. There's Rotter again. That's 2 in a row for him. This time down the line.
VNS-Laticrete actually get that set from Oaretamar, but ang laki lang talaga ng butas dun sa blocking nila.
Rotter is the highest scoring Cignal HD player with 112 points so far. And Ursi Dick is responding to you, Neil. He said he needed to get in the game. He's certainly getting more action.
There will be net fault challenge.
So, referee called net fault on Nursidik, and he is saying that he did not touch the net. This is the challenge being posed by VNS. So let's see if ref Joy D. Imus's call will stand.
Actually, Cignal was asking for a different call. They thought that it was a catch and throw violation from that power tip of Rash Nursidik.
That one is harder. So that's when it stays too long in your hands. Ba? Tama ba yun, Neil?
Lalo na pag galing sa likuran.
So you have to release it right away, no? And with the speed in which things happen here, that's a tough violation to catch. But just the same, we're looking for net fault. And, you know, if you're VNS, you don't want to waste the challenges that you have. You have 2 challenges per set, just a refresher for everyone. So you have 2 times that you can make a mistake on your challenge. But for as long as you're getting them right, you can keep challenging the calls and asking for video playback. Let's take a look at this one. I think it was the ball that made the net move.
I think so too. So yeah, it will be successful for VNS-Laticrete.
Oh, it's a good challenge. That's a point for Laticrete, and they keep tied at 7, so they are really keeping in step here with Cignal in the second set. And there's another.
No point. Ano?
So they're saying no point will be awarded. It's just they will take back the point that they gave to Cignal. So originally Cignal got the point thinking that there was a net violation, pero nakita natin na wala naman, so binawi lang yung point. It's a playover. Oh, Retamar, really smart on that one. So sneaky.
He wants to get his attack points.
Yep, and we are at our first technical timeout. But first, another challenge, is it? Oh, there's a football challenge this time. So if it's a football challenge, when it was the setter who went up for that 1-2, I wonder, so ano tinitignan nila doon, Neil?
I guess you'll be checking the landing of Oaretamar if he crossed that center line.
The center line. You know, I guess now's a good time to explain this, Neil. For those who are wondering, kung minsan nakikita natin sa paghahabol ng mga players, especially on floor defense, lumalagpas sila at bumabalik. So, hindi naman tititigil ang laro.
Basta hindi pa tumatapak yung paa nila on the other side of the floor. It's not considered as a foot fault.
I see.
So even
kahit
if
yung
half
katawan
your
na nila,
body is already on the side of Cignal HD, good pa yun.
Ayun. Pero kung kalahating paa mo nandun, it's a center line fault. So they're just always looking at the feet. And we
Arena here in Pasig for the semifinals of the Spikers Turf Open Conference 2025. High risk, high reward. A mantra the Cignal HD Spikers have always been known for. And that's exactly how things still are for the HD Spikers this semifinals. Skills-wise, Coach Dexter Clamore has this trust in his men in that department. But on the aspect of mentals, he wants them to remember who they are and what they can do. Facing a series of injuries, this conference does not come easy. But he keeps on reminding them that they are in Cignal for a very reason. A fun fact, did you know that the Cignal HD Spikers has made every semifinals? Today is a step towards their bid for another championship, as long as, in Coach Dex's words, they put on a collective effort and be in one box. Back to Setsu.
I would have guessed as much, Denise, but now you make it official. So Cignal has been in every semifinals that there ever was here at the Spikers Turf.
That says a lot about their program, their commitment to men's volleyball as well. Practically a dynasty. They're already an institution in the Spikers Turf.
I think that's what makes this particular tournament exciting, though, because they start off with 2 losses from the same team. So crisscross is definitely challenging, posing as the biggest obstacle for Cignal in this particular tournament.
They will face off again here in the semifinals.
Yes.
I'm sure that will be a different matchup altogether. For crisscross, I heard na kakabalik lang ni Mark Espejo from Japan. So he will boost the lineup of crisscross.
Yeah, that first time they met, not only was it a win by crisscross over Cignal, it was a straight set win, which is doubly surprising. Roder picked up there by the libero, and Segi getting it through the 2-man block again, but Cignal thought they could still play it, so Segi should feel good about that.
Griffins are keeping the score close. Here in set number 2, that's what they want. Because in the end game, dun mo na masasabi that literally it's anybody's ball game pagdating sa mga deuce point. There was one set in the preliminary round. You mentioned that it was 26-24 if I'm not mistaken. And that just proves that they can challenge the HD Spikers. And right now, they're just maximizing all the miscues from the red shirts.
And we're seeing a lot. I mean, it's almost palpable how Cignal has somewhat relaxed, maybe. I mean, they've stopped chanting for one. And the intensity that they that they had out of the gate in the beginning, it doesn't seem to be there. Let's see if Cignal will regroup here. Bugawan and Retamar now getting back that point off the block. But it's still even at 10. So VNS is looking really good here in the second frame.
HD Spikers have to pick up the pace because this is a slower pace kind of game we're seeing compared to that first frame. Talagang nag-sprint sila all the way to the 25-point mark.
And look at Segi getting really creative as well. I mean, you see his volleyball IQ on display, recognizing that you can't just give him straight up hits.
He's finding the loopholes in the defense pattern of Cignal HD.
That's a tough one. One-handed set by Retamar. Kulabat got his timing. Oh, that must feel good.
Confidence boosting block for Ken Kulabat.
One more time on that. That's a great highlight for VNS, but unfortunately followed by a service error. Still VNS in the lead by 1.
Updated tally for the total service errors of Cignal. They have 8 compared to the 3 of VNS.
We're talking about the #1 serving team in the league. Oh, Kulabat could not get that one through. Nakaganti naman si JP Bugawan doon.
Block after block for the HD Spikers.
Nice big jump serve for Luis Ramirez. Nice receive by Kulabat. Segi from back row. Good pick up. Oh, great play. And this is the speed that we saw in the first set that kind of took a back seat. Sabi mo nga yung tempo, iba. And I think they're picking it up now.
Can be the start for the HD Spikers. They want to pull away here in set number 2. Again, walang masyadong margin of error in the semifinals. One mistake, one loss can be detrimental to your chances papunta sa ating last round. Steady numbers for JP Bugawan, already with 7 points. 2 attacks, 3 blocks, and 2 aces.
That was harsh from Luis Ramirez coming from back row.
In terms of power, I guess it's clear that Cignal has that upper hand. Pero ang maganda man sa VNS-Laticrete, na-check naman nila. It's just that hindi pa nako-control yung touches, but it's a start. Overreaching violation will be called on the setter.
And I think Mangolabnan is insisting that it was clean. They're not going to challenge it. Looks like Cignal will get the point, and just like that, HD Spikers in the lead. Again, the blocking. It's really important also for VNS just do better with their coverage to give
Focus namin ngayon yung blockings namin talaga, and yung yung counter attack namin talaga galing sa digs namin, and yun talagang pinag-aralan namin maigi yung game nila bago maglaro dito sa semis.
You see the effort from CJ Segi, his all-around game as well on display. Meantime, get your daily dose of sports updates on Starting Lineup. Mondays to Fridays, 6:30 p.m. live on Pilipinas Live app and One News. Also available on One Sports and One Sports Plus. (16-13) with Cignal up ahead. They took the first set 25-13. And that is an ace for JP Bugawan. So they're trying to make up for the service errors that are piling up for the red shirts. Kulabat will go up. And it's tough. You know that Kulabat is trying to avoid the blockers. That one too wide.
After a close start, Cignal now has a 5-point lead against the Griffins. Somehow na-plant nila yung seed of doubt dun sa attackers ng VNS-Laticrete with those monster blocks.
And after a service ace, a service error from JP Bugawan, and a chance here for VNS to catch up. Retamar, back set to Broader, soft one. This is a broken play. Kulabat again, yung payong, pero buhay pa. Great defense by VNS. From the back row, and great playmaking, distribution by Retamar.
Retamar now picking up the speed for the HD Spikers. Just dictating the tempo of this game because of their net defense. The coverage was there already for VNS, but Cignal had another chance to put that ball away.
5-point lead now for Cignal. Casanya on the court now. So we're seeing different setters. And was there a touch?
Yes, there was a touch. That's the way to go for Kulabat. Hitting it high and long, targeting the fingertips of Lloyd Josafat.
Got Ronquillo on the court as well. One-handed set. Hang time there for Sapat. And from the right pin, good defense from Cignal. Boom! Almost, not quite though. That's a good effort by VNS to keep the ball in play. But just too tough, too tough. And
Can't
now,
forget about Wendell Miguel.
so we're seeing Cignal again, just as we anticipated, just different players coming off the bench now, getting their feet wet in the semifinal stage. We got EJ Casanya, who has been setting the longest, if I'm not mistaken, for Cignal. Segi, too tight. Look at Ronquillo. No, sa fact, kahit sino itapat mo doon talaga, they've got that net defense covered. Timeout.
Sige lang, variation lang na atake natin.
Tapos
Ano, magaling sila mag-close ng block eh. So, hanapin niyo pa kung saan yung pinaka-open niyo. Pero yung block ball siya, kailangan doon cover. Kailangan niyo cover, guys. Cover tayo pag malakas sila mag-block eh. Okay? Go lang tayo, receive. Pag dumali sa block.
Bilis!
It's already a given that Cignal is a strong blocking team. So, for the coverage of VNS-Laticrete, dapat i-anticipate mo na parang every time na attack sila, babalik yung bola para lang aware ka at mas mabilis yung magiging reaction time. That's 8 total kill blocks already for Cignal.
And we're not done yet. That's for the set.
For the whole
For
game.
the whole game.
Yeah.
That's a good first ball. That slide didn't quite happen for VNS. Segi. Is there a check ball? Or somebody at the net? Well, there is going to be a call against Cignal. That's going to be a point for VNS. It seems somebody was at the net.
It's going to be called on Jao Mandal. Yep.
Yeah.
The net ball up top.
Ooh! That's a great set. Nice shoot set. Very tight. Mandal is unstoppable when he is in his element. Nice stop.
We're seeing a lot of loose blocks from VNS-Laticrete as well.
That hit there did not clip the line. You know, that's what Segi was trying to do. And you know, you see that he has that vertical. Kaya niya talaga umibabaw. And which is what he needs to do against these blockers of Cignal. So kulang pa sa wrist para bumaba yung bola sa loob. Another chance. Cignal has the ball now. Kilio from the right pin. Good blocking we're seeing from VNS. Now they have a chance to counter. Sumagaysay. There's a whistle called against, it's against VNS. You know, we're seeing the attempts at the running attacks, not quite completed.
It was a net violation on JV Sumagaysay.
It's called inside. Just nipping the line, just everything working for Cignal, and they end up winning that second set. VNS kept it close in the first half, but then Cignal decided to take control of the tempo, and with that service ace, Cignal is
Flores and Denise Valdesancho. This is day one of the semifinals. We already saw Crisscross win their first game against Savoj in a straight set fashion, and now Cignal seems to be going that direction as well with his second set win after taking the first set 25-13. VNS looked good in the first part, as we were saying, Neil, but things started to just go Cignal's way towards the latter part of the set.
Again, it was the net defense of Cignal that prevented the attacks of VNS-Laticrete. There were some bright spots for VNS in some parts of that set. We saw a couple of points from Casey Colapat, Rashnur Siddiq, but they still weren't able to match the output of Cignal HD in that department. They had the same number of attack points in set number 1. They had 6. Maganda na nakadagdag na yung dalawang blocks nila dun sa scoring categories. But look at the production of Cignal HD. 11 in attacks, 5 big blocks in set number 2. And again, the unforced errors, it's almost the same for these two teams. And if you're going to look at the allowance for errors, mas malaking allowance ng Cignal HD compared sa VNS-Laticrete. So they have to find a way to minimize that unforced errors na category. We saw them try to fortify their coverage. There were some rallies na nakakuha naman sila ng support from the back row, but they need more para mas marami rin silang chances to attack.
Let's see if they can fix that here in this third must-win set. Arena Plus, Astigza Sports. So this is the must-win set for VNS, although this is a round-robin format for our semifinals, so they are not out, even if they give up this first match against Cignal. So at least, as we mentioned earlier, after today, at least 4 more games for all the teams here, as the semifinals will be best of 3 affair for both the bronze and the gold. Cignal scoring first, and we hear them chanting again. So we see when the intensity is back and just the energy definitely up here on the Cignal side. Good things happen.
There's a new middle blocker in for VNS-Laticrete. That's Raiden Balian, former Red Warrior.
Retomar taking his time. Going for Labat. Good play. And that's what VNS needs, really. Haleko just outsmarting the blockers of Cignal.
They've been trying to find those cracks in the wall of the HD Spikers. Marami rin silang napuntos of the softer touches. Which is ironic, mas nakapuntos pa sila dun sa soft touches compared to their hard hits.
Yeah. The attempted hit-outs, sometimes it backfires because talagang pumapayong ang signal. So, bumabalik lang sa kanilang bola. Oh.
Too low on the contact point.
I mean, I think it's 50-50 for Luis Ramirez, which is, I guess, what you expect from these high-risk, high-reward serves. Usually either an ace or an error. So, palitan lang na error. And, you know, we're talking about the errors too in the second set. You know, 8 and 7, it's not so bad if you keep it under 10. But given the situation, VNS cannot afford to play an error-prone game because they're playing against a tough team. Good up by Ramirez. Miguel going now. Oh, bumalik ang bola. Another chance here. Broken play. Josafat sends it over. VNS will set up. A quick from the middle, and that is off the hands. That's a hard-earned point for VNS. And Nur Siddiq will get that one.
Ang ganda nung ginawa ni Haleco. He put that ball up really high para kahit paano maayos ni Jan Mangulabnan yung offense pattern nila in that last rally.
Binigyan siya ng oras, no? To think about what he was gonna do. And it just, again, we get reminded it's a team effort, really. When good things happen, usually when everybody's in sync with each other.
When it comes to getting break points, ang bilis din ng conversion ng Cignal HD.
Oh, we definitely saw that in the second set.
It's so hard to score consecutive points against Cignal.
Miguel onto that. And that's a great moments there for Miguel, showing how he is a thinking player, whether on defense or offense.
When he's playing efficient volleyball, and he always checks kung sino yung nasa harap niya before he commits to one angle.
All in 0.005 seconds. Yan nagawa. Things happen so quickly. That's a good receive here by Kulabat. Oh, look at Mangulabnan. There you go.
That's the coverage that you need. A quick thinking also from Rashner Siddiq, going for that fast swing on the second touch.
Oh, that was worth a second look. That's great up there by Mangulabnan.
Kaya importante yung coverage. It keeps the ball in play, and every time the ball is alive, makakuha ka ng chance to run your own attacks.
Back row attack by Ramirez, and he enjoyed that one. Look at that smile.
We're just seeing a lot of combinations from the HD Spikers. So we're talking about predictability, mas nagiging predictable yung offense ng VNS-Laticrete. We're seeing a lot of sets to the left pin. CJ Segi has had most of the attempts for sure.
Another chance here for VNS now. Hitting it off the block, so it's good. Hindi napapatay yung block. And Rotter delivers with a counter there. And Cignal
is his second semifinals appearance with VNS, but for him, what changed the game for this roster is their underdog mentality. To always expect the unexpected. Malaking tulong din daw sa kanya yung improved gelling ng team, particularly his chemistry with CJ Segi, na dati niya ng teammate sa UST Juniors. Now, did you know that the last semis appearance of the VNS Griffins was in the 2022 Spikers Turf Open Conference? It took them 3 sweet years, and that the VNS-Laticrete Griffins will not take for granted. Back to you, Chi and Neil.
Thanks a lot. So si Mangulabnan really has been with the team for a while, and he has seen the highs and lows of VNS. But this is definitely a high. Like we said, it was a very peculiar way for them to get here. Not as expected, pero nandito na sila.
And the fact that you're here already, it means na tinrabaho mo rin talaga. You deserve that spot. So while you're here, you have to make the most out of this opportunity. We're still trying to catch up here in set number 3. That's a 4-point lead for the HD Spikers. Pinakamagandang decision ni Coach Dex today was to field in Louis Ramirez as his starter. He's 9 for 12 in attacking. That's 75% efficiency. And he also has his numbers in the blocking and serving department.
And as we saw, he's also very efficient on defense. Outside. We heard that. Good call there by Lorenzo. He knew it.
That's painful for VNS-Laticrete because they really can't afford to give free points for Cignal.
It's off the hands. Another chance here for Cignal to counter. Ramirez from the left pin this time. And good hustle. Nice try by VNS. Gotta hand it to them. They refuse to quit, but just the angle on Ramirez has hit too hard. Too hard to counter.
JV Sumagaysay is back in for VNS-Laticrete.
5-point lead now for Cignal. Oh, that one's outside. And that's a point for VNS. You know, they come in spurts.
And they finally convert off that flight attack. They've been trying to establish that point of attack in set number 2. I guess this is the first time that they were able to successfully get the point.
Let's see if they can replicate that. It's a good option when you have blockers like Cignal. But the first thing is to get the dig first so they can run their offense.
VNS-Laticrete also needs to organize their defense pattern at the back because they were able to slow things down. They were able to get that rebound against Wendell Miguel. Pero again, walang suporta sa likuran. So these two skill sets are connected to each other. Yung blocking and floor defense sa likod. Service error number 3 for Cignal HD.
Coming from the right pin, almost. Not enough room here in the Inaros Arena. Still a 5-point lead for Cignal. And the semifinals, like you mentioned, Neil, it's a matter of really just protecting every point, every set, every match. So for Cignal, they're looking to really finish in 3 in the easiest possible way.
Even from the 1-2 place, pupunta si Louie Ramirez. Getting that off the hands of JV Sumagaysay.
He's just as dangerous from the back row. 13 points already, and these are relatively short sets.
What a hit from Steven Rotter. Up high and down hard.
That's right, that's what we see. Rotter goes up, ball goes down. 6'5" with that elevation, and that's what you get. You get glimpses of parang international play. Yan naman ang mga typical height and caliber ng mga international volleyball players. Labat off the hands. Chance here for Cignal to counter. Wendell Miguel hitting it off the hands of two-man block from VNS. And now they're up by 8 points in our second.
We're expecting them to fight hard. It's hard to beat a team 3 times in a row, so they have videos of us and our tendencies, so they're going to be really prepared, and we just got to be at our A game and hopefully fight back if things get tough.
UAAP Season 87 Volleyball is live and exclusive here on Cignal. Watch it all live on the UAAP Varsity Channel, One Sports at Pilipinas Live, because legends start here. And we heard from Steven Rutter before the game, and they have definitely brought their A game. That's what we're seeing. And they stomped over VNS in the first 2 sets, and we're seeing a lopsided third set now, with a 7-point advantage of Cignal and growing.
Defense was there, but it was an overpass from Rashnor Sidik. You know what happens pag binibigyan mo ng free ball ito si JB Bugawan.
It's always Christmas for JV. Nagpapasalamat sa regalo. Ooh! Nice D by Ramirez. Also by VNS. Oh, look at this. Showdown on defense, and Wendell Miguel will get the point. Nice stops.
The smooth flow on the floor of Cignal HD. And yung 3 touches nila, ang ganda ng connection sa isa't isa. It starts off with a good rebound, then followed up by a good pass. Tapos si Owar at Tamar na bahala kung saan siya pupunta. Everybody is a threat right now for the red shirts. Absolutely. They continue to get their kill blocks here in set number 3. It has been the main highlight of their game today.
Yep. And this is vintage Cignal. I mean, I don't think anybody's surprised to see this. And another thing, when we see the substitutions, we get reminded, like you said, andyan nga pa, andyan pa si Jao. Diba? Si Martin Bugawan will get his time on the court now. A couple of other players we haven't seen. Sino pa yung mga hindi...
Ruben Sabrot?
Yeah.
Hasn't seen
Sabrot
action yet.
Has not seen action yet.
Pero mukhang plano naman ni Coach Dexter na magamit lahat. It's parang at this point flex na to for Coach Dexter and the rest of the coaching staff of Cignal HD. But the other side, we still have Casey Colabat scoring for the Griffins.
Down but not out for VNS. They are a young but hungry team. That is how they are viewed by many. Definitely in terms of their age, talaga namang ito yung mga bata who had to really just defend their team without the likes of JV Sumagaysay. As we mentioned, yung mga veterano were not available earlier in the tournament. Jao Mandal, meantime, just off the bench.
I don't even know what to say anymore. That hit will speak for itself.
Yeah.
Look at that again. Powerful hit.
And you know, it's funny because he actually came from behind, from the pipe. And then the way he jumps and travels in the air, it's as if you were from the front row.
Ganun na nga talaga yung nangyayari yung backliners ng Cignal. Parang frontliners na din nila. They will always have 4 attackers in any rotation.
And literally, not just the trajectory of their hits, pero talagang they travel to the front of the court. By the time they hit the ball, by the time they make contact with the ball, they're above the net. And here comes Abrot, as you mentioned, emptied the bench of Coach Dex.
Looking to close out set number 3.
And the FIVB officials just enjoying some Sunday volleyball live here at the United Sports Arena. Oh, service error by Silan, who is now calling the shots here for Cignal. So we see the 3 setters taking turns here for the Cignal side. And that chase, Ronquillo sends the ball over. Pancake save by VNS, by Colabat there. Back row attack again, umandal from the pipe.
How do you stop Jao Mandal if he's hitting at that speed, at that height? Can't afford to set up loose blocks.
Jao Manel is just such an exciting player to watch. 2 service errors in a row for Cignal. From these players coming off the bench. Nag-iinit pa. And at this time, we're just hearing a lot of laughs from Cignal side. They're just enjoying their performance here now. As I'm sure you are watching this game, this is just an exhibition almost for Cignal and the depth of their bench. JP Bugawan back on the court. Cignal will come away with a 3-set win. It's imminent. VNS will try to score a couple more points if they can. That's one off the hands. So a new player, that's Codinera. Archer Codinera, who started against Cignal the last time they met. Seeing action for the first time, and he's back out. Haleko back in.
Quality minutes for the double substitution of Coach Ralph Ocampo. Getting a quick point. They're still down by 10.
Yeah, this is going to be tough. I don't think it's too early to call, but we want to see VNS still get in a couple more points here. Well, it's going to be tough if you can't get the ball up. And we know the effort of VNS and the Liberos.
I think that set was meant for Jao Umandal, pero sa sobrang taas ng talon ni JP Bugawan, naabutan niya yung bola. They just laugh it out. It was still a point anyway.
JP Bugawan does that. He kind of intercepts the ball in the middle. And binigyan pa ng chance ng Cignal ang VNS with that service error. But this is all but over for VNS. Let's see if they can get another point. Cignal on the offense. Oh, there's that Sumagaysay kill block. Getting them to 15 points.
Great adjustment from VNS-Laticrete. They put JV Sumagaysay the right pin for blocking purposes.
And VNS wants to go down fighting. Let's see if they can get another stop here. Whoa, look at that. That's 3 points in a row by the Griffins.
That's back-to-back killed blocks for them.
There's many, many match points that they need to stop. And that combo attack, first time we see today and the last time for this particular match, with a winning hit, winning point coming from Jao Mandal. One more time for that one. Ah, what a beauty. That's another play that I'm sure we're going to see again, as it looked really, really good.
back inside the Inara Sports Arena here in Pasig for the semifinals of the Spikers Turf Open Conference 2025. Beside me is our best player of the game, Louis Ramirez, with 13 points, 12 attacks, and a block. Louis, congratulations. We know you've worked hard for this. You are the best player of the game today. Pero balikan lang natin, the semifinals, your first win back to zero, no? Kapag semifinals, can you talk about yung naging preparations mo? Is there a change in mentality since this is your first game of the semis?
Yung preparation namin sa semifinals is ibang-iba tulad ng elimination kasi ito nga, kailangan namin mag-prepare ng maigingan kasi sobrang tiktikan ng mga teams. So, yun, every score is matter para sa amin, kaya yun.
Louis, si VNS, no, they posed a threat especially nung second set, nakakalamang sila, and nung third set, medyo pinahirapan nila kayo nung dulo. Ano yung takeaways or yung mga babaunin mo heading into your next matches against our powerhouses?
Siguro yung errors ko kasi nagko-commit din ako ng error lalo sa service line. So yun, yun yung magiging preparation. I-prepare ko ulit sa next game namin na pag-trainingan sa next training.
Louis, anybody you would like to greet for your win today?
Yan binabati ko yung mga nanonood ngayon, lalo na yung family at kasama ko, tsaka yung mga si TM, Timonito, tsaka yung family ko ngayon na nanonood sa Pangasinan, and yun, sa management na Sir Robbie.
Thank you so much. Again, our best player of the game, Louis Ramirez from the Cignal HD Spikers. Now turning it over back to you, Chiki and Neil.
Thanks a lot, Denise, and that was a much-deserved player of the game. Honors for Louis Ramirez, who, like we kept saying, no, played an all-around game.
He finished with an 80% efficiency clip.
Whoa.
So, yun na lang. Yun pa
Yeah.
lang, marinig mo pa lang nasa 80% yung efficiency rate niya. You already knew why he was chosen as our best player of the game.
And they were highlight-worthy attacks din yung talagang ang tutunog, talagang bumalimaw si Louis Ramirez today. And as did the rest of the team, really, like you mentioned, I think you're so on point, Neil, when you said that the Cignal romps into the semifinals with a whole different attitude.
Mas aware sila sa importance ng bawat game. They will still have 2 matches. It's going to be a tough mountain to climb pa din because Savoj will be waiting. Crisscross will be waiting again. So this is a good start for the HD Spikers. And as for VNS
Thanks for joining us on this Sunday, and we'll see you for more Spikers Turf coming Wednesday. Good night, everyone.